Investigators released new details Friday about October's mass shooting at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Clark County Sheriff Joe Lombardo released a preliminary report on the shooting, which left 58 people dead and hundreds injured. One thing not in that report, a motive. Lombardo spoke to reporters Friday.
What this report will shed light on is the planning of the attack, the research that was done by Paddock in looking for public venues where crowds gathered, Paddock's movement in the days leading up to the attack, and based on witness interviews and evidence, how Paddock carried out the attack. You will see in the report Paddock's disturbing search history from his computers to include extensive search history of ballistics and SWAT tactics. You will see that we recovered numerous photographs of child pornography. And as to the missing hard drive that was mentioned in previous press conferences, we have yet to determine when the hard drive was removed. It could have been in close proximity to 1 October, or it could have been years prior. We are unable to locate it. As you will read, there was no suicide note, nor a manifesto left behind. No ideology or radicalization was discovered. We hope that the work continues to be done on this case and will eventually help paint a more complete psychological picture on why Paddock committed such evil.
Lombardo said he chose to release this report because of public interest in the case. He said a more comprehensive report will include more information. Ron Hosko is a CBS News security analyst and a former assistant director of the FBI. Ron, thanks for being with us. We still don't know why he did it, but authorities uncovered evidence pointing to months of methodical preparation. With your experience in law enforcement, what do you make of the report?
Well, still, a fair amount of frustration because the ultimate question is unanswered, and that goes to motive. Why? There was nothing overt in what's been discovered so far in his background, in his activities that put the finger on exactly what moved this person to engage in this mass shooting and attempted execution of dozens of people. And so there's a frustration there. But there is still much to be learned, I think, and that is being learned about him. Methodical is certainly, I think, the best way to characterize him. Calculating, in a way, it makes it more chilling because you don't see those obvious drivers like mental illness that is overt, or a trigger like a job termination, a girlfriend breaking off a relationship, and a bad reaction, which you do see commonly with active shooters.
Right.
None of those things are here.
So in your experience, is a crime of this level ever committed with no motive?
I think there is a motive, but I think in his methodical, calculating way, part of what he did was to cover up the traces of that motive. Certainly there was something in his head that drove him to shoot at and kill dozens of people and injure so many others in the way that he did. There was a motive. There is a why. The hard part here is, can law enforcement discover it and put their finger on it in a way that the public can understand it, and certainly to eliminate some of these conspiracy theories that are already brewing in Las Vegas and around the country.
Sure. Now, Lombardo said they are not bringing charges against Paddock's girlfriend, yet she was a person of interest at the beginning of the investigation. What do you think changed?
I would say that it's probably their calculus about her knowledge, her specific knowledge of what he intended, and how she comes off to them as being truthful, candid, helpful in parts of the investigation. And is there any tangible evidence that suggests she had specific knowledge of what his intent was? She's apparently admitted that they would find her fingerprints on some of the ammunition in the magazines, very likely to find DNA in similar places. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's out to kill and kill dozens of people. And so I think it's probably their calculus about her knowledge. How does she come off as a potential witness or a potential subject, and their likelihood of getting a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt.
Are there any other suspects that seem to be interesting right now to investigators?
It sounds like the answer to that is likely no. We've been told before that Paddock was largely a loner, kind of an isolated person, not a people person. And so I think I would be surprised if we hear somebody pop up that was a witting, intended aider and abettor or co-conspirator. I think we would see and hear emanations of that by now. So my supposition is we're unlikely to see that in the future.
Oh, it's so frustrating and chilling, as you said earlier, not to have a motive yet in this horrific crime. Ron Hosko, thank you so much.